Hello again, Canada. Happy Wednesday. It is May the 20th, and we are in about week 11 of this COVID crisis, quarantine, pandemic, whatever you want to call it. We are right in the thick of it. So we're going to continue with these OneSoccer Hangouts and hope to bring your day just a little bit more joy and a little bit more positivity. And we have a very juicy show today. I think everyone is going to like it. As the CEO of Atletico Ottawa, Fernando Lopez, joins Kurt Larson and Oliver Platt. I'm Adam Jenkins. Let's get this hangout started. Fernando, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Ollie, I see you got the haircut going on. Was that on yesterday? I missed yesterday's show. Is that new as of last night?
It was. We've made a couple of adjustments since then, just taking a little bit more off. So it's a bit of a work in progress, but I'm feeling better, feeling upbeat as a result.
Good choice. It's a good choice.
Yeah, good choice. Thanks.
Kurt Larson, what's going on with the menu? This has become a Twitter sensation. What's cooking in Kurt's kitchen?
Tonight we're doing enchiladas, but more importantly, there will be another beer tonight. If you didn't know this, I'm a beer influencer. Once you reach the 10,000 Twitter follower threshold, you become an influencer and whatever you want. At least those are the rules I'm making. So I'm tweeting out beers in hopes that those breweries will send me more beer
on Twitter, so it seems to be working well.
Fernando, it's been, as I mentioned, about 11 weeks of this quarantine. How familiar are you with your new apartment in Ottawa, and how much of the city have you been able to see?
Well, I'm fine. I've been a good citizen since now, and I've been following all the health and safety protocols established by the government. So I've been at home the most of the time so far, doing the isolation, reading, eating, practicing the social distance. And now I'm very excited, in fact, because I'm starting to see some rain lights and the real sound out there, which makes me really happy.
Oh yeah, that summertime is coming. Everyone's feeling really good. We're the same. I'm about 3 hours to the west of you, and then Ollie and Kurt are about 2 more hours to the west of that. So, but I still see blue skies and it's feeling really good.
Where the heck are you right now?
I'm in Trenton. We've been. How long have we been doing these shows from this couch?
Yeah.
I haven't left
the northern studio. Okay,
it's his second home.
Yeah, I'm at this is Casa del Mom and Dad.
Right.
So Fernando, what update are you able to provide to Atletico Ottawa fans who are obviously, like everyone else in the CPL, just looking for any morsel of information they can find about their club? So at this point, on May 20th, 2020, what update can you give those fans?
Well, all I can tell you is that currently we're working together with the CPL and Canada Soccer and all the authorities, and putting together a protocol and a plan to get back to trainings very soon. We're going to put this plan into the federal and regional authorities, and once we guarantee the safety and health of all the players, the staff, the city of Ottawa and Gatineau. And we hope to get their approval very soon, and hopefully get back to trainings in the coming weeks.
Fernando, we know you're the CEO of Atletico Ottawa. Are you also the GM? How involved are you in player acquisition? We know we have Mista as the head coach. What's the front office, the makeup of the front office right now?
It's been very complicated since the beginning, but we try to not mix and combine different positions because since it's been hard due to all this COVID-19 situation, we didn't want to hire more people and keep the contact and combine the plans that we have established from the first day. So we can say that yes, I'm the CEO and wearing a hat, but there are a lot of hats in Atletico Ottawa, and all the hats are the same important.
Mm-hmm. It's obviously a bunch of challenges right now that I'm sure you're facing, trying to build an expansion club in the middle of a global pandemic. There's no rule book or history on how to do this before. So what has been the biggest challenge for you in getting this club off the ground? Is it dealing with players, and how much work are you able to get done from home?
Well, really, the project itself has been the big challenge since day one. When we decided to start this adventure, it really is. But to be honest, I must say that the biggest challenge is the existing uncertainty that we all are experimenting under this environment. even if the picture look much better today, I think that the things that you planned yesterday might not work today and not be useful tomorrow. So you need to be in a continuous positions of change and acknowledge that is part of the process in the game right now and adapt to it. I think nowadays having a phone and a laptop and a Zoom account enables to perform all your job.
Yeah, Fernando, I wanted to ask you a little bit about building this first team and for the first season, and I'll kind of split it into two parts because you've got on the one hand the Canadian players and then also the international players. So in terms of the Canadian players, you've got I think 8 signs now. Probably looking at 7 or 8 more to fill out the squad. Do you have an idea of who those players are going to be and when you might be able to complete the squad?
Yeah, well, when we started the recruitment of all the roster, we were very clear of the profile of the players that we want to bring into the team. It's our first season, and I think that due to all the challenges we face coming into the CPL in February, we look for players that really share and represent the main signs of identity and the values of Atletico de Madrid teams. So when we look for a goalkeeper or a center back or a striker, I'm sure that if you ask the same question to all of the teams, the profile of the players in these positions and what the clubs demand for all of them will be similar. But it's when you go deep on the person behind the player is when you find the differences. It's not about all the statistics and data. It's about our club policy. And we were looking for players that we also wanted to fit into the coach mentality and his style, how he is, and the way we think that he can improve them individually to make them better and contribute as a team. Okay, but always respecting the legacy, the values, and the philosophy of all the club. So being said that, I think that once the situation gets back to normal, we will be able to reactivate the conversations that we have been taking these months ago for all the players.
Fernando, what did you want to make Ben Fisk your club's first signing for? Did he embody, the things that you want at this club, the values? He's been very well liked everywhere he's been. I know he was very well received at Pacific FC by the club and the fans. Was there something about Ben Fisk that drew you guys to him?
Well, it is in fact, and nowadays it's been demonstrated, and it was proved that we weren't wrong. I think he, aside that he's a great player on the pitch, he's an amazing person, and I think that I said this many times before. But the fact that he was playing in Spain, he speaks Spanish. The first day that he arrived to the preseason, if we can say preseason, the 3 days that we trained in Madrid, he's shown his character and his personality, not just to the club, also to the coaches, and it made us give him back this confidence and make the first announcement.
And what about the international players, Fernando? Because you've signed players from Jamaica, from Spain, from England, from all over the world. How are you going about finding those players and finding the right ones?
It's been clear that we've been helped by the CPL scouting network, and it's been amazing since day one. They've been very supportive. All the soccer department of the CPL have treated us very well. And we have been working together with the wide scouting network that we have in Atletico de Madrid with all our scouts. So it's been a combination of sharing information with all our records, also the suggestions and the players that the CPL, basing on their experience and the knowledge that they have from the league, the players, the level. We share a lot of conversations since the early days, and we finally come with these names and these players that I think that we were so right signing them.
Fernando, you guys, you had some of the club over in Spain for at least a period of time. I don't know how long it was, whether it was a week, 2 weeks. How long was the group together over there, and how disruptive has this COVID-19 situation been to preseason preparations, especially for a new club, which you would think would need a little bit more time to come together?
We were so excited with the idea, and we made it part of our speech since day one that we wanted to really bring this Atletico de Madrid experience, this Atletico feeling to all the players, to the city, to the community. So that's why we decided to bring the players to one of our main facilities located in Madrid, so they can live what is Atletico de Madrid right now. And it was a shame that due to the Corona situation, I think that we've been there just for 1 week, and we were advised that the border in Canada were about to close, and we had to take the decision almost from one day to another of coming here or not, or being in Spain and complete the full preseason there. And it was a very tough decision that we need to took from one day. And I think we've been like 3 days of practice, of real practice, and of touching the ball and all the stuff on the pitch. But it really gave us one idea of what the Mista wanted to build on the pitch, the game of style and everything. So I think that even if that short period of time, it was really helpful. And now we know that we took the right decision coming back to Canada and bring the players here and stay here. It was tough because we need to let two players in their home countries, in Jamaica and Ghana. But we're working with them with this magnificent app, Zoom, every day, making individual trainings with them, and group trainings, group calls. So we stay in touch with all of them.
One of the interesting things about North American leagues, and we look at Major League Soccer and some of the veteran players they've had come over. We think of David Villa and some of the more impressive stars. I mean, I know the league isn't at a place yet where it wants to bring over, big stars and pay millions of dollars. But there were rumors last year that Diego Forlan might have been interested in coming to Canada. I think he was talking to Valor FC. Do you see a day when Atletico Madrid can tap into its star-studded roster of former players and maybe get some guys over to the CPL in Ottawa?
Yeah, why not? I think that what we want to do for sure is to bring renowned players and quality players to Ottawa. I think that is part of the project itself and what we wanted to build here. I didn't know about Diego Forlan, and I heard about that rumor. But maybe we can talk to him and bring him here also as a consultant, because he's part of our family, and I'm sure that we keep a very good relationship with him. And why not? One day we can. I know that right now he's coach in Peñarol. I guess no, he's the head coach. So right now I think that he's busy, but why now him or any other players we can incorporate it to, like Mista. He was a former Atletico de Madrid player. Why not incorporate it here with us?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fernando, there's a question coming in from the chat, and they want to know a little bit more about sort of your background, your story, what led you to soccer and one of the biggest clubs in the world. So could you just walk us through a little bit of that briefly, from the time that you shifted from being a business focus to I want to pursue being in professional football?
Well, when I was very young, I was a football player, played in Atletico de Madrid Academy, but I was very bad. That's why I'm here right now in the front office. So I spent most of the time of my career involved in sports. I've been a professional athlete. I remember that in 2006, I was I'm not going to say too high, but I was an athlete in a Football Club Barcelona, the soccer team. And we can keep it between us now that nobody's listening to us. And I've been there like for 8 years, and very, very happy, very good. And every time in my life, I know that I want to be involved in sports. Then one day I get the chance to be incorporated again to the Atletico de Madrid family. Atletico de Madrid was growing a lot at that time, and they wanted to grow internationally. They knew that I spoke several languages, so they gave me the opportunity to get on board this magnificent team in the best time of the history of the club. So I didn't think about it too much, and I joined the team. And right now, with this international expansion, we take the chance to be involved in several teams in different countries. And this last opportunity, I've been given the gift of being here and with the team, and I'm really, really grateful to Atletico de Madrid and the board of directors that appointed me to be here with the project.
Fernando, just asking for a bit more of the kind of perspective from Spain. When we talk about Atletico Madrid, why did they decide to come to Ottawa? Is it to find young players? Is it to maybe make their brand a bit bigger in North America? What's the most important thing for Atletico Madrid in this project?
Well, I think it's a combination of things. And I said the other day on the virtual home opener that there are a few reasons. It is true that Canada, I guess that is the second largest country in the world. There is a big diversity. Welfare state it's amazing. The culture, the influence, the lifestyle, and we really want to be part of it. Always on our mind, it was being in North America somehow. So now with the CPL, we started with the conversations. A new fresh league with a powerful message. This is strong structure, very professional, really focused in the future in developing the Canadian talent. And I think every conversation that we have with them, we were perfectly aligned and with our objectives. And that's why we established the franchise here. And it's a real honor to be part of it and feel that we can contribute together with the CPL of making history on the Canadian soccer. The fans and the soccer culture that we find and that we heard about it is true that it's a huge soccer community in the city in Ottawa and Gatineau, and I think that we have here a great opportunity for all of us together to make something special, and we really wanted to do it in the capital, in the nation's capital.
Fernando, I think I asked you this when we met after the club was launched earlier this year. But one of the delicate things about a club forming another club in another country, kind of a satellite club, is to make sure that Ottawa truly feels like it's their own club and not just really a subsidiary or a minor league affiliate of the club in Madrid, right? So how do you strike that balance between making Ottawa feel part of the Atletico Madrid family while also making Ottawa feel like it's their club?
I think it's a win-win combination, and I think that we can perfectly do it. And we are going to do it first of all, listening and listen to the people, listen what they want. It is true that it's been here before a club, a soccer club, and we might say that it could be complicated to bring like a new brand, a new club, but I think that they are eager also to receive this Atletico culture, atmosphere. So it's not that we are trying to bring Atletico de Madrid here. I think that with the help of our partner, Jeff Hunt, that he has the experience, the reputation, the knowledge, I think it's a perfect combination to create something unique just for Ottawa, because we're just trying to bring the good things from Atletico and combine the good things also from Canada, Canadian soccer, the culture, the country, and make a mix between all of it and bring the best of all the parties.
Well, I think you guys just had a pretty successful virtual home opener last week. I think there was a few hundred people there, or 400, 500 people there. How did that go? I didn't have a chance to log on, but it seemed like it was well received and sold out, I guess. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think it was great. I think we wanted to do something special for the supporters, coinciding with which wasn't be our home opener officially at TD Place, but we couldn't do it. So we were thinking on creating this idea of something virtual to connect with our fans, to all the people that were wanting to do something with the club, to know more about it. And I think it was great. We were just with them for 1 hour. We had a lot of surprise, a lot of talking points. It was David Flanagan, the commissioner of the CPL there. It was great. It was Jeff. Also, we come with Atletico de Madrid, one of the senior directors that brought some ideas. And also we work with the supporters, clubs, and of Ottawa. So I think it was very great. And I think that we should repeat it more times.
Fernando, before the show, we had put out on social media that we were going to have you on to give Ottawa fans a chance to submit some questions. And there's a few interesting ones that we want to get to. This first one coming from S_VDH. Not sure what that stands for, but it's a great question. Has the new field turf been installed at TD Place? And does the fact that Ottawa will be playing on turf ever come up in discussions with potential signees who may be a little bit reluctant to not playing on grass?
I think it's a good question, and I think we have been discussing this with the coaches and also with the people from OTEC. But you know that there are a lot of teams playing there. There is also the football team who play in turf. So I think that it's not like a key factor for us because the most of the teams in the CPL have turf pitches. So I think that is going to be good for us. I think it's going to be maybe worse if we want to bring the Atletico de Madrid first team at the women's and the men's side, that they might say, oh, we are used to playing in grass and we are playing now a friendly game in turf. But they also played in when they play in the National Cup and other teams. So I guess that is not going to be a key point for bringing players or not. I think that the city and the umbrella of Atletico de Madrid and the Atletico Ottawa is more important than playing in this pitch or another.
Now, what's the status of it? Was it able to get completed? Because the plan was to obviously have it done before the home opener, but with the coronavirus, is it on pause? Is it close to being done? What's the status there?
I think it's on pause. I think right now everybody is waiting to receive more and positive feedback from the government. I think that we are on process and we are on these conversations. I think that the back and return to the trainings is going to be a crucial point to drive the next conversations and what is going to be look like for the league and how we're going to play this season, when, to continue with the conversations with them and really define if we are going to be able to start with the practice there, with the competition and everything.
Fernando, we got a big, broad question for you. You can answer with this whichever way you like.
Easy.
Yeah, very easy. But if everything goes right, what do you think Atletico Ottawa could look like in 10 or 20 years?
Well, we came here, and I think that Miguel, the owner and CEO of Atletico de Madrid, always thinking in the long term. I think in every project in life, you always need to look in the long run. So based on that, I think that it's obvious that we want to win. We want to bring championships and titles to the city of Ottawa and Gatineau, so the fans can feel proud of us and can really feel that they are part of something cool and great. But we want to go much deeper. If we are able to bring this culture and to really create like a family concept and be part of all the families of Ottawa and make like the something similar to the game of soccer, like you guys right now have fun like with hockey and with football. I think that could be great, and I think that we really want that the people can live and can experiment what we feel when you belong to the red and white family. I mean, when it's more than a soccer club. If you when game day arrives, you feel like it's not like another day. It's the only day in the week. We live for that moment, and we want to bring this culture and this atmosphere here. I think that the ultimate goal, if we need to look further 10, 20 years, I think that is going to be to really work with the community and really feel that we can leave a legacy and a footprint here in Canada. I think that one special date in our minds is 2026 when the World Cup arrives. I think that for that date, if we look back and we see that some of these things were accomplished, I think that and that the fans and the city are happy. I think that we will know that we have done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando, I love my hypothetical questions, and I told you I asked you a hypothetical earlier, so I'm gonna have some fun with this question as well. I want Oliver to answer it too, and then I'm gonna give my answer. Fernando,
Okay.
if you could take any Spanish player of the last 20 years, we'll say, the last 2 decades, and add them to Atletico Ottawa's roster right now, who would it be?
It's a good question and a difficult question. I guess that Mista could be because Mista. Oh no, Mista is already with us. Maybe a player could be. If it's not Mista, we can also incorporate maybe Fernando Torres. That I think is the iconic player for the Atletico family. For all that he represents for Atletico. He was an academy player. He has been with us. I think he also has been the most renowned international player in the Atletico de Madrid history. But I don't mind bringing also, for example, Coque or Saúl or maybe Iniesta, Xavi, type of players. I think that they will be welcome here.
Okay, good. I'm glad you went off brand there for at least a second. Oliver, you're a creative guy. I know you're going to go with a midfielder probably.
Yeah, he wasn't an Atletico Madrid player, unfortunately, but I have to go with one of my favorite players of all time, which is Iniesta. It would be pretty fun to see him in the CPL, so he'd be my pick.
Yeah. All right. I'm not going to give you mine. Mine's I don't know. I have too many. I got too many to think of.
All right. This is very noble of you, Kurt, to give your time up to the fans who have more questions for Fernando. First one comes from George T. And this is an important question. I want to know too, because right before we went to air, I actually had to go change my jacket because I felt underdressed by Fernando. So Fernando, the question is, where do you get your suits? You're a very well-dressed man.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a compliment. It's not really on me. It's my fiance who is looking always on my back. And in fact, today I was just about to wear like a t-shirt, and she told me, no, put a jacket. And I said, okay, I'm gonna put a jacket for the interview. So, well, I think it's something random, and you look much better than me. So maybe I need to start talking with you about it.
We can have those chats anytime. This is I like when the guests and I get along. Okay, this one a little bit more serious. And it comes from Stuart Mack, and it goes back to a conversation we were having earlier in the show where you were talking about that Atletico de Madrid mentality. Can you just explain or expand a little bit more on what that means and what you're hoping to bring from Madrid to Ottawa?
Yes, absolutely. When we see Atletico de Madrid, I think that, and you can see in all the different teams that we have spread around the globe and that we are collaborating with, you can see that all of them share one, not common style, because it's true that all the coaches bring their own DNA and their own game of style. One of them play 4-3-3, 4-4-2. But all the players and the attitude and the values are all the same. There are the ones that are deeply on the intern of Atletico. There are hard work, passion, effort, courage, winning spirit, sacrifice, commitment to the team. And maybe you can say that are common values to other teams, but really when you see the Atletico team playing, you can identify those values in the players that are running, pressuring, fighting. They don't give anything for granted, and I think this is kind of the things that we're trying to find and to look. It's not just the statistics and the data. I think it's the person who is behind the player. You know. When you find and you dig deep under the person, you can find which kind of profile of the player you are looking for. And it's not just a striker who runs or that can kick with the head or can score a lot of goals. Is that something that you really fit with the coach style and with this philosophy and this legacy that Atletico de Madrid has been raising for more than 116 years.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty long list for potential players, but it's good. This bar is set very high for the club. Okay, only time for one more question, and if I don't ask this, I'm going to annoy and irritate all of the Atletico Ottawa fans, so I have to get it in. I'm sure you get it a lot, but can you give us any information on when we might be seeing the kits for Atletico Ottawa?
I heard it soon.
Yeah. We are working on it, and I think we are the only club who didn't launch their kit yet. So hopefully in the next week, we don't know exactly the date yet, But we are preparing something really cool and a really unique event that we are going to share with all our fans and with all our people. And hopefully, if the weather keep respecting us, because if the sun is not out there, I'm not going to do anything. So that's the only condition. But hopefully next week, and jokes apart, we will going to be able to see our Kill and Bale.
Well, there you go, Ottawa fans. We did our best. We got the burning question that everyone has on their mind. That's all the time we do have for today, though, Fernando. I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of everyone at OneSoccer and the fans for giving us half an hour of your time and letting Ottawa fans learn a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes right now.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. Anytime.
Thanks, Fernando.
For Kurt Larson
Thank
and
you.
Oliver Platt, I'm Adam Jenkins. Shout out to Armin and producer Kyle as well for keeping these shows rolling on along. Speaking of rolling along, the OneSoccer Happy Hour is back on tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Jordan Heitema will be joining Andy, Laura, and Carm, so tune in for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the videos if you liked it, and share them with a soccer friend, and we will talk to you very soon. Thanks for watching.